What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and we've talked a good bit about this East Palestine, Ohio train derailment. We've talked about how this chemical disaster has affected this community and how it will continue to affect this community for years to come. We've heard reports of pets getting sick. We've seen reports of chickens and livestock dying. And I know we have all seen the toxic creeks filled with dead fish. And we've recently started hearing more and more from the residents of East Palestine. But what about the other wildlife? We know about the pets and how they're affected. We know about the livestock and how they're affected. And some people have been able to get their pets out of this area. Some people are in the process of trying to move their livestock out of this area. But what about the other wildlife? What about the birds? What about the squirrels, the gophers? What about the raccoons? Speaking of raccoons, I want you all to watch this clip real quick, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
So, here we are, dead smack the center in Palestine, at my mother's house, right across from T&M. Trump's getting ready to come to town, everybody's lining up, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, you know, the people that are impacted and the animals that are impacted, I just came out to see what's going on, and I found a very lethargic raccoon that can't hardly stand up straight and just was sitting there wobbling, weeveling, and now he's actually starting to move. He wasn't moving at first. I'm gonna tell him how long he's been out here. Hey, buddy. Hey. Oh. He can barely walk. And he don't know what's going on, and his eyes look like...
You know, I have had quite a few run-ins with raccoons in my life. And I've never seen one behave like how that raccoon is behaving. He's stumbling around. It looks like he's sick. He could barely stand up. Now, I've had a lot of different reactions from raccoons. You either see a raccoon and it immediately gets scared and runs away, or you encounter an angry raccoon that will charge at you. Maybe he has rabies, I don't know. I've dealt with both of those situations, and I've convinced raccoons to trust me before because I had snacks. So I've had a lot of different scenarios play out in my lifetime involving raccoons, but never one like this. I either get to run away immediately, or the angry, I'm going to charge at you, or hey, I may stick around curiously if you have food. I've never seen a raccoon see a human being and just kind of ignore them while struggling to walk around. I feel terrible for the wildlife in this area because the wildlife is going to be, for the most part, forgotten. And I understand that people come first. And I understand for people, their animals, their pets that they own, they come first. But how will these animals be affected from all of this stuff? And you know, it's kind of like a chain. Here we have what appears to be a sick raccoon that probably is poisoned by these chemicals. And then what? When this raccoon drops dead, do we have a vulture come down and eat the flesh of this sick raccoon that has been poisoned by chemicals? And then will that vulture then have these toxins inside of them? It's like an ongoing chain. And I believe the wildlife in this area are going to be affected for years to come. And this is just one short little clip. I would imagine that the wooded areas in this town are probably littered with dead, like, little rodents and animals at this point. You know, a human can withstand this more than a little animal. But the humans aren't doing so well either. They're reporting health problems of their own, and don't get me wrong, people aren't necessarily dropping dead yet. But I would think that this has shaved a few years off of a lot of these people's lives. And if they continue to live there, they continue to breathe this stuff in every day, who knows how they will be affected. This stuff is in the soil. You know, you can't go outside and garden or cut your grass because you're kicking up toxic chemicals right into the air. It's an all-around devastating situation, and the people of East Palestine are fed up. They're speaking out. They're making appearances on news television shows wherever they can to spread the word about what is going on. I want you to watch this clip, and then once again, I'll be right back with more thoughts.
The people who live in East Palestine, residents Jim Stewart and Ben Rhodes. You probably saw them last night on CNN's Town Hall, and they're with us this morning. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
Both. I know you didn't get much sleep, but we appreciate you getting up early with us. Jim, we were so struck by what you said last night in the Town Hall, directly speaking to Alan Shaw, the CEO of Norfolk Southern, and you said, "Did you shorten my life?"
Yeah.
Real questions you have. Let's play for everyone how he answered that.
I hear you. I'm terribly sorry that this has happened to this community. What I can do and what I will do is make it right. We're going to get the cleanup right. We're going to reimburse the citizens. We're going to invest in the long-term health of this community. I'm going to see this through, and we're going to be here.
Was his answer satisfactory to you?
He just, I was turned off by him. I really was. He seems like a sincere man, and I said that to him, you know, that he's probably a good family man, a good husband and everything, you know, but I don't trust him. He's all big business, all about money. It's, you know, it's as fast as they cleaned off those tracks, they were putting new ones right down. They weren't even picking the cars up, and they were practically sliding them underneath. I mean, that's what it's all about, money.
You know, they've since committed to removing those tracks, digging up all the soil underneath. Well, that's a new commitment that came yesterday. What do you need from him? If Alan's watching now, what do you want? What would make you trust and feel a little more safe?
Well, the soils are what I'm worried about. It's the grounds and the air. Like I say, the water, they're working on it. They're doing, you know, everything they can for it. But it's the air and the ground, you know, that worries me. You know, where's my grandchildren can't play in the backyard now? You know, what are we supposed to do? Every day, when trains go by, it's blowing up this smoke and dirt and everything, and it's just redoing it.
You got little grandkids?
I have grandkids, yeah, I do. And like I said, he's just 1 year old, and he's very active.
Yeah, of course, we know.
Yeah, you know, and like I said to my little dog, you know, he's only got legs this high. You know, he's scooting across that grass.
But what about for you? Because you really pressed Governor Mike DeWine and had him promise that he would stay there overnight to like understand, right, what it's like.
Not just for one night, but I feel like the situation in general is being handled, seems like more seriously by neighboring states. The governor of Pennsylvania put forth criminal charges yesterday. When is Ohio going to do that? And I feel like the narrative was controlled so much by the railroad company early on, just leaning on their experts, leaning on their information, and that information didn't actually come out in a very forthcoming way, especially to the citizens.
Secretary Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary, is going to go to East Palestine today, weeks after this happened, and he's conceded, look, it's, you know, lesson learned, should have gone earlier. What can he do on the ground today that would actually help you guys?
I think that for a lot of people, it's a little, no matter what happens right now, it's going to seem very late on the federal response. This happened on the 3rd of February, so I think he's just going to have to really dig deep and find the right words to...
You know, they made some really good points there, but one point that I really want to focus on is how he said that, you know, the train company, Norfolk Southern, they were in control of the narrative surrounding this disaster early on. You know, they hired their own private team to come in and test the water, to test the soil, to test the air, to inspect these people's houses. And if you haven't already, you might want to check out my video that I made yesterday about this mysterious plane crash in Arkansas. Because it turns out the same team, this same group of private contractors that work for these big companies during these toxic chemical disasters, they were on board this plane that crashed. It's a really weird story. Go check it out. But yeah, as he was saying, they were in control of the narrative early on. And they weren't being really transparent and truthful with the information they were given, or that they were giving people. But, with the power of the internet, I feel like the power here is shifting. The tides are turning, if you will, thanks to you all. Thanks to you all who are watching these videos. Thanks to you all who are sharing these videos. And I don't just mean my videos. I just mean videos in general surrounding this topic. Those of you all who have been interested in this topic, looking it up and spreading the word, y'all are going to be responsible for changing the outcome of this catastrophic event. Y'all are responsible for getting the word out there, for making sure that these Americans out in East Palestine will be somehow, some way taken care of. I've said it before and I'll say it again. After looking at this disaster, I've been doing some research, and there's been quite a few kind of like it that have been completely swept under the rug in the past. And the people of those communities were finessed. They were lied to and tricked into signing certain contracts and to basically, you know, signing away their ability to do anything about what happened to their towns. Luckily, most of the people in East Palestine have not done that yet. And we are continuing to spread the word about what's going on there, so they aren't forgotten about, so their town isn't swept under the rug. And so this disaster isn't swept under the rug. You know, I have my fingers crossed for the best possible outcome for these people. But even the best possible outcome is still a tragic outcome. But nevertheless, it's important to keep applying pressure bust pipes. And if we don't want this happening to our city and our town, then we need to put the pedal to the metal when it comes to this story. Because you better believe that they have planned... I don't want to say too much. But I wouldn't be surprised if they have plans for other towns around America, similar to what seems to have happened here in East Palestine. Because there's a lot of coincidences and a lot of weird stuff surrounding this situation that make it hard for me to believe that this is just an accident, even though it very well could just be that. But like I said, I think it's important right now for us to focus on the story, spread the word about this story, to not only help the people of East Palestine, but to make sure that something like this doesn't happen to us in the future. But for now, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.